Right, hi there, Justin here again from Brickright. This is a van vlog from Selwyn, and I have a special guest star next to me. If you watch our videos, you'll know him. I got the Welsh wildebeest next to me. You watch, you don't eat me if he's too close.
You couldn't get Lee half penny in. You had to deal with me instead.
I got to deal with you instead. I couldn't afford him, could I?
No.
He cost a penny.
Half a penny.
Yeah, here we go. Talk to you today just about we're burnt out. We're frazzled. We've worked on on loads and loads of different projects, and you know we're coming up to it's our last day today now as we're sat here, and then we're going to go off for 2 weeks and have a little bit of a break and a holiday. Brad's going on holiday with the kids, likewise with me, and then we'll be back all hopefully raring to go. But we just wanted to talk to you about the excessive workloads and being able to manage excessive workloads and stuff like that. So basically, Brad, when we do these jobs, we got a certain profile and certain things that we need to do to be able to do these jobs, haven't we?
Yeah.
And if you see me looking up there, I'm actually reading a list because I can't remember it all. So we've actually got things written down here. We're a bit prepared, aren't we, mate? So customer needs. So what do we mean by customer needs then, Brad? What would you classify customer needs as?
Well, doing the job which they've asked, obviously to what they want, doing it to a good standard, which obviously we're going to do, and and obviously we know they're going to be pleased when it's done. And workload obviously for us, managing our time. Well, obviously they want us in and out ASAP. I mean, within reason, obviously. Not ducking and diving on and off jobs. Yeah, that's another thing, isn't it?
I suppose another thing as well is customer needs. The biggest one that we found out last year and this year is got to be the extras.
Definitely.
You know, we don't want to shy away from extras because obviously it brings more money into the business and more work for us. But what that does then, it kind of ruins our schedule and puts a lot of pressure on us, doesn't it? So I suppose there's a big, broad spectrum with customer needs. I mean, you know, during COVID as well and during this war with Ukraine, it's been more difficult to get the materials that customers want as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that would come under customer needs as well. So there we go. That's just that one. So then moving on, we've got progress on site.
Yeah.
So progress on site, and this is part of the reason why we're both burnt out, isn't it? Because I think we're both conscious, aren't we, mate? I mean, we do talk. We have meetings in the van, and we have a little discussion between us of how we're going to do stuff. And progress on site is a massive one. So we keep on time for the next customer. But does that work out all the time?
Not always. I mean, depending on how big the extra is, how much they want. If it's a day here and there, then we'll try to pull our finger out and try to get on with it as quick as possible. But when, like Dr. Young's job, that was so big. I mean, some of that, when you say an extra, you mean an extra job, not a small extra to my job. You mean a extra job. Yeah,
it was a complete different job on its own. Yeah. On the side, he's referring to Dr. Young. What that is? It was Titanic project on the playlist for those who've been following the video. So all these are site-based kind of managerial tasks and things that Brad and I speak about on a regular basis. So I suppose progress on site, they can all amalgamate into each other, but you know, you've got to have your productivity up there, haven't you? It's easy enough to turn around at 3 o'clock and say, we finished now. We've had it now. Come on, let's go. But you can't, can you? You've got to keep motoring on. You've got to keep doing it. You've got to get that mindset on. Also productivity in periods of bad weather, we tend to get out and get soaked and give it our best, don't we?
Yeah.
So you got the weather to contend with as well. So again, on site base for this little bit, ordering materials, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk all day on this one, couldn't we?
Sometimes it's not that easy as get a pack of whatever we want, and sometimes there's you got to wait 3-4 days, and you're like, well, we kind of need them yesterday almost, because it's like that sometimes. And then with ordering materials, if you're booked in a year ahead or 6 months or 3 months, whatever it may be, or 2 weeks, or you order materials, you put your price in for the materials and they've gone up 3 times in 2 weeks. So you got all that to contend with as well, haven't you? All the shortages and stuff. So, and then when the customer puts extras on, you kind of got to get the materials there the next day. Yeah. Because sometimes they're kind of lumped on you as an extra, aren't they? Yeah. So I think all these things are contributing. You can see now what the video's about and managing, you know, your workload
because these are all contributing factors as to why we're mentally and physically completely zonked, mate, aren't we?
Well, we've been doing it flat out since Christmas.
We have. We've been flat out.
No stopping.
So the manual work. Go on then. I mean, Fraser's off as well, so we had a man down. That's had a massive impact on Brad and me, because I'm taking up the slack of Fraser, and Brad's taking up the slack of Fraser, and I took on Fraser to be to come in here and to ease the workload for me, because I could run the business from the sides, when I needed a day off and stuff. But not his fault. He's broken his wrist, so it's not his fault. But we've had to deal with a man down. Yeah. So as far as the manual work is concerned, mate, I was putting Fraser to the side of it. How does the manual for work, affect you over a long period between our Christmas and summer holidays?
Kills me. You know that. Kills me. Well, it'd kill anyone, even no matter what you do. If it's the extra people, or you're not missing anyone, is a killer anyway. But then, obviously, like jobs, when I say, extra this, extra that. The last job was the worst. We didn't finish till almost 6 o'clock, and that's how I lost his trial, because he put her on the skip at like 5:45. I'd clean that. I was putting stuff away, completely forgot about it, completely zoned out, because it's 6 o'clock, been on site for like 10 hours, and forgot about it, went home, come back, gone. He's
just making excuses now, because he lost my trial that I've had for between 15 and 17 years, and it was down to that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was down to that. It's a hard, grueling job. I mean, would you say that the jobs where you work, so on the Titanic project then, which was a big job, and we had our logistical nightmares there, didn't we? And now we're on a little job. So would you say the bigger jobs are more demanding than the little jobs, or what would you say?
Different ways. I mean, you got your thinking cap on with them big jobs, like if you miss your delivery or something goes pear-shaped, then it can make or break you, can't it? But then with these little jobs, we've got a tiny little opening, can't get a dumper in there, so you get a ton bag on the floor, got to shovel it in. But then if I had a digger and a dumper, it'd be done in 2 seconds. But then we'd be moving a hell of a lot more. Yeah. In a bigger job. So on a bigger job, you've got the nice open big spaces to kind of work with. You can swing a dig around, you can swing a dumper around, you can get everything in, everything out in an ideal world. And on these smaller jobs, we had a digger there looking at us for 2 days at Monkey Brain hired here. Didn't realise the ivy on the side of the property here stopped us getting in, and we had to dig it all out by hand while the digger stood there and watched us, didn't we? Yeah. And it did just demoralised us, didn't it? We were like, oh, we're thinking the digger's going to dig it out, then we got to dig it out. Yeah. So there we are. So productivity and schedule then. Schedule probably comes into the progress on site a little bit, doesn't it? So we got a schedule that we try to keep to, and I do put things in for breakdowns and maybe the van going in and anything really. You put a couple of weeks on for something that may or may not happen. Put a couple of weeks on for the extras that may or may not happen. But we've chewed into that and gone past that, haven't we? We've gone well past that.
Gone well past that. And then you're saying to your next customer, so you're keeping one customer happy then with, oh, great, thank you very much. You've done the extras. You've done a fantastic job. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. Done. And then the next customer saying, well, not really happy that you're 3 weeks late or 4, 6 weeks late, lads. Yeah. So let us know in the comments below. See what you think of this. How, if you're running a business, what you, how you cope and deal with that. Do you say no to extras? Do you have to book the extras in and come back again to do all these extra works, or do you just do it like we do and just do it and suffer, basically, innit?
Suffer, yeah.
So weather then, mate. The weather on site. Oh. How do we manage the weather? Well, we got a gazebo.
We bought
a 6x3 gazebo, didn't we? That we were able to work under. But that's limited, isn't it?
Can only get that in certain places, can't you? Yeah. 6 meters by 3 meters is massive.
If you're working on a small area within that 6x3 spectrum, then absolutely fantastic. We've laid bricks in the rain, haven't we? We've laid porcelain in the rain underneath the gazebo, and it's paid for itself, haven't it? It was 500 odd quid. Yeah, it's paid for itself. Would you say the gazebo is a success?
Definitely.
So we come on site, it's pouring down with rain. Everybody wants to go home before they've got out of the van, don't they?
Yep.
We put a big smile on our face and a brave face, and we end up in laughter. We get out, we put the waterproofs on, we end up soaking wet down to our pants, don't we? And then we probably we probably do more full days than we don't. And then you're getting wet the next day and the next day and next day. So, again, that's a difficult one, mate, isn't it? Yeah. But you have to manage all these things on site to be able to run a business, to be able to keep your schedule, your productivity, keep your customer needs going, keep the manual work going on site. And that's basically what it's all about. So moving on then to off-site. So off-site is more towards me, isn't it?
Pretty much all you, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'll do this quick. So what I do off-site, I do quoting, the paperwork, the phone calls, paying the bills, everything you need to do as a day-to-day running of the business. So as much as we're talking about what me and Brad do together and Fraser as a team, alongside that then I've got to go off and, last night I didn't get home till 7:15. Early on in the week I didn't get home till 7 o'clock. So then you're coming up to like an 11-hour day then, aren't you, mate?
Yeah.
Then you've got to find time to work your quote out, which is generally on a Saturday. So I've been working a lot on Saturday up till 4 o'clock. So now I'm doing 6 days a week. So it's very, very difficult to fit everything in. We're VAT registered, so we got to do all of that every 3 months. All the paperwork's got to go down to the accountant, so I've got to formulate that. And sometimes I can't answer the phone, Brad, can I?
No.
I just don't get to be able to answer the telephone because I haven't got time to do it, mate, have I?
No.
And you've got to be hands-on site. So all those things add up through the course of the periods of, like, between the holidays. So months and months and months and months of work. So how does that make you feel, Bradley?
Well, like what the pad's saying in front of me, you can't have that sinking feeling, but
the sinking feeling.
But I do enjoy it though. Don't ask me why I do enjoy it, because some days I bloody hate it. I was almost swore then. Some days I can't stand it, but then I don't know why. I have a feeling of just like, yeah. I mean, especially when the job's done and you look at it and think, yeah, we done that.
Yeah, I think you've hit the massive nail on the head there, mate. You really have, because I think we might be coming across like we're moaning and whinging, but we're just saying it how it is and how we feel about managing our workload and doing this job. But we wouldn't do it if we didn't love it, would we?
No.
We'd do it. Why do we love it? We don't know, but we just do, don't we?
I mean, if we didn't love it, we hated the rain and we just wanted to do whatever to get money, we'd go work in Tesco's. But
yeah, I think that sinking feeling when you think, oh, I haven't reached my target, oh, I haven't reached my customers' needs, or oh, we haven't reached productivity, oh, the weather's raining, all those kind of things. So that's that sinking feeling. Then you might be dissatisfied when you don't achieve everything that you want to achieve. So being dissatisfied with yourself and putting those high standards out there and being dissatisfied, that's another emotion we got to go through, isn't it? And then you got go on, you can read the next one.
I don't know where you are.
Can't even read my writing, so we're by ear luck.
Overwhelmed, feeling stressed. Yeah, bloody hell.
Feeling stressed. I mean, it's different for Brad, because Brad feels stress in one department. So Brad's based on site, so that's Brad's kind of stress, because you do take a lot of the workload now. We do a lot of things together as a team. I might think of something, and then you might think of something, and we might do it your way, or we might do it my way. So Brad is a part of that feeling stressed scenario, but then the stress really kicks in with me then, because sometimes you can't answer the phone, sometimes you're working on a Saturday or a Sunday working quotes and trying to phone clients back late at night, and Lucy sat at home, she wants to spend time with me, and I'm down there messing about working stuff out for people, and that causes a lot of stress. So next one, overwhelmed. It can overwhelm you, can't you?
It can get too much sometimes.
It can. You're working along, you've got a big black cloud hanging all over you, and you think, well, how am I going to do this? And once you get behind on your schedule or your productivity or your manual work, the things we've been talking about, you can never catch up, can you?
There's
no point in trying to catch up. You cannot catch up to it, but you then don't want to get further behind, and then someone says, can you lay an extra lawn for me?
Yeah.
So you do feel overwhelmed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then you can read the last one. All those things adding up all together make you feel like you've
letting people down. And that is the worst feeling for me as a business owner, as a tradesman, who somebody like Brad and me, we really, really want to help people. We really want to please people and do a good job. And when you've got that feeling like you've let people down, even though you've worked your
your arse off, and you run round and you've jumped through hoops and you've done everything you possibly can. That is the worst feeling of them all, isn't it? Is you think that you've let people down, you know?
Sometimes, I mean, when you've got decent people, you work with decent people, I think they know when we're going that extra mile. They do know that, and they can see it because...
Don't forget the sound now with that.
Well, me,
yeah,
I guess.
Your hand over your mouth.
Well, yeah, letting people down. I generally don't think we let them down by the end results. I think they're happy with the job and they can see what we're doing. But then, obviously, with extras and stuff, I mean, sometimes they want you to bloody just do so much where they'll watch you kill yourself.
Yeah, I think some people, you know, they realise the effort you go through and they're thankful for it. And then you go on to your next client, you explain why you're late and you explain the reasons why. And then, you know, they're understanding of it. But some people out there, they just don't get it. They just don't understand, you know, how much physical work and hardship and feeling overwhelmed and feeling like you're letting people down and trying to achieve all these little tick boxes that we try to achieve on a daily basis. It's you still feel that people are not happy with you, don't you? But what can you do? That's when you feel like you're letting people down, when you've done your best. All you can do is your best, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
All you can do is your best. So that's the end of that bit. So how do we manage that then? So this is this bit now, Brad. How do we do that? How do we get all those things right? How do we manage those things?
Well,
so
communicating's one, isn't it?
Well, let's read it from the top then. So time management then, is it? Yeah. So manage your time, take ownership of your time. So, you know, your time is your time. Don't get sidetracked. Do something as managing your own time. And yeah, that's the first tip. Next, you can read the next one.
To-do list, planning weekly.
Well, yeah, we do that. That's down to communication. Yeah. It's down to organisation, isn't it? So plan things out, write a to-do list. We did that on the Titanic project, didn't we? Yeah. We did that to be able to help us to know when to when to get materials, when to order materials.
Yeah. We broke all our job down into parts, didn't we? Like plan A, plan B. Do party or do drive. Yeah. You just take it all on in one hit.
So that helped us. And we were looking in the diary 2 days later saying, where are we supposed to be today? What are we supposed to be doing? And we were keeping up with it, weren't we?
Yeah.
So that was a really good idea. So, yeah, to-do list and plan it weekly, write it all down. Delegation. So this comes from, like, the boss, really. To delegate, think, right, what do I need to do? Brad, can you go over there and do that? I'm going to go down the bottom, I'm going to do this. And you've got to delegate for your team and be able to organise your team. And you play a big part in that as well, mate, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, we tend to do a lot of things together. So read number 4 now.
Choose your time, duration of each task.
Yeah. So, you know, if you think to yourself, like, right, this task now is going to, say you're doing a quote, give yourself half an hour to do that quote. You know, don't take an hour and a half to do it. And delegate your time and give yourself a time to be able to do something and stick to it. And then you'll have more time to yourself. This is about managing all these things we've been talking about and trying to find a system to when you are feeling overwhelmed and stressed and you've got that sinking feeling and you think things may not be working a little bit. Maybe these things are reading you out. Will be able to help you and we use them. So where do we get out? Choose your time. So mindset. If you think it's bad, it is bad. Now, at the moment, the mindset that me and Brad are in is we're on holiday mode from the beginning of last week. This man especially, he's been going, I can't be bothered to get out the van, I want to go on holiday.
It's not like, I know that's not like me though. I mean, that's just not me, but I've had enough.
So mindset has played a massive part in that, isn't it? Because you know you're going on holiday. Because I know I'm going on holiday. And you know you've put a shift in, you know you've worked hard, you know you've done all these things. You deserve the break, no doubt. I'm not saying anything like that. He does deserve a break and he's fantastic what he does, right? But that mindset that you've allowed to creep into your head has had an impact on the final last 2 weeks of what you've been doing. So you guys and girls out there, be careful of your mindset because it can have a massive, huge part in the way that it makes you feel. So that's that one. Time blocking. Don't get distracted. So if you're doing a task, like you're doing a quote, or you're in the middle of looking at a plan or something like that, and the phone rings, just let it go to answer phone, finish your task first, block out everything else. Just finish that first, then move on to the next bit. That's all I can say really about that one. Next one, Brad.
Allocate free hobby time to recharge.
Exactly. So if you're a little bit down in the dumps and you want to do some free hobby and you want to make yourself feel a little bit better, and it's a Saturday or it's a Sunday and you've got a little bit of nice weather, what do you do in your hobby time, Brad?
Like after my kids. No, I think my free time's chilling out, watching Charlie, having a beer.
Well, you go on the game on the PlayStation.
Got my little PlayStation sometimes, yeah.
You like your Marvel films?
Like my Marvel films, stick a telly on.
You like watching football?
Or definitely the football.
Cardiff City?
No. Manchester United.
What a bloody idiot. Anyway, so we can all pick things. I like going for walks. I think going up the mountain, we're blessed with mountains in Wales, or a coastal walk. Anything walking with with Lucy, with my wife or my children, or a friend or whatever. I have offered you, but he never says yes because there's no food involved.
No.
But yeah, anything that you like to do in your free time, do it, and don't think about work, and then you might come back a little bit fresher and be able to allocate and manage your workload a little bit better. So yeah, that's a good tip, that one is, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So where was we? Allocate time, answer phone message. Now what I've done is, say the phone rings now today, it might ring 3 times very, very quickly. And I'm not saying anybody should stop doing this with us. So this is not a message for people out there to not phone us. So let's get that straight. But to be able to manage my time better, and be on site, more hands-on, and contribute to what Brad does and what we do as a team, if the phone rings, somebody, typically you'll answer the phone, hello, Justin speaking, Brickright. Then you'll get, oh, hello, my name's Kate. I want a job done. I want a patio done. I want some walls built or an extension done, whatever it may be. So you get between 5, 10, 12 minutes of the explanation of the job. Then you'll get to be able to speak and say, well, look, we're booked in till April. Does that interest you? Oh, I don't really know. I don't think it does. Can you come and price anyway? No, we can't, because it's just wasting our time. Blah, 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 blah. And that phone call in its duration could take 15, 20 minutes, couldn't it? To which point you haven't got the quote. They don't want to do it. They don't want to wait for the time. They want it done yesterday. And you've just wasted 20 minutes, haven't you? But then you do get the customers who do want to wait and are interested in waiting, and they fully respect the waiting process, and you do want to talk. They do want to talk. So it's about finding the ones who you want to talk to and allocating your time. So top tip for you, this is what I do. Answer phone message says, hi, this is Justin from Brickright speaking. We are currently booked up until April next year. If that is of interest to you, please leave a message after the tone and I will contact you back as soon as I am able. Now what that does, all the people that are not interested in waiting till April, they're like, I'm off. So I don't get to waste 20 minutes talking to somebody that's just a waste of their time and a waste of my time. And then somebody who does want to wait and has maybe looked at our reviews and the channel and this, that and the other, who does want to wait, they leave a message. I listen to the messages when I get home, and then I got to phone them back, haven't I? That's saved massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Saved a huge amount of my time. So for that, that's work. That is a really good top tip. You can do the next one, Brad. Number 9.
Limit your projects.
Right. So do you want to speak about that?
Have we limited our projects?
Well, I suppose if I start taking, what that means, limit your projects. So if I start taking on too much work and I start overloading us, and I start, like somebody I know from the window company phoned me up last week and said, hiya Justin, can you squeeze us in? I've heard your answer phone message. You're booked up till April. I know you're busy. Can you squeeze us in? If I then turn round and be kind and say, yeah, mate, no worries, I'll squeeze you in, no problem at all, then am I limiting my projects?
No.
Am I adding to the managerial workload? Am I adding to customer needs and quoting and stress and letting people down? And am I adding to that?
Yeah.
So you've got to limit your projects and limit what you think you're able to achieve and you're able to take on realistically for yourself, for your crew, for your team, your clients and your future clients, mate, innit?
Yeah.
And so go on in, read number 10.
Having a laugh.
And I think that's top of the list for us, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, should have been the first thing we said.
Should it be? Anybody that works with me, and we've had a few people come and go over the years, mate, with us. Brad's been here 6 years now.
Oh, 7-ish.
6, 7 years. What do we always do?
Take a piss out of each other.
We always have a laugh. Even when it gets really, really bad, we have a laugh. We have fun in work, mate, don't we? It doesn't always happen like that, because the overwhelming feeling and the feeling stress and dissatisfying and that sinking feeling, it can become a little bit too much. So it doesn't always happen, but we always do our absolute damnedest to happen. And if you watch the videos, it does kind of come across in the videos that I do like to have a laugh. You've bought into that, and that's why we get on so well together, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So, lastly then, what's that say? Don't take on work you don't want. Self-explanatory, isn't it? Absolutely self-explanatory. Last night, somebody contacted me. Check us out a minute. Somebody contacted me, and they said, this is the job, and the logistics of it, you couldn't get in, you couldn't get out. It was an absolute nightmare. So just politely refused and said, I'm awful sorry, we can't get diggers in, it's just impossible. Thanks for your phone call, but no thanks, we don't want the job, sorry. And years ago, I feel awful about that. I used to feel really awful, and I would say, yeah, no problem, I'd go and do it, struggle my backside off, lose money on it because it was harder than what I thought, and it's just pointless, isn't it?
Oh, well, I used to have a go at him sometimes. I'd walk into a job and I'd be like, what is this? What have you done to us? Because obviously it's back-breaking then, and you don't do as much, and you're working twice as hard. I mean, everyone deserves to have their gardens done, but sometimes it's just you bite off more than you can chew.
I've killed you, haven't I?
Well, there's like 1.5 metre, 2 metre drop, and you're just like, how the hell am I supposed to get anything up there?
I mean, we've done it, and we've had mini diggers down huge steep steps like that, and I've been face planting the floor on a mini digger, and we've put scaffolding up, we've built ramps, haven't we? We've been like mounting goats and sheep on the side of a hill where your calf muscles killing you all day, and you're falling down the hill, and the materials are rolling down the hill. It's just been a nightmare, hasn't it?
Sometimes, I mean, it doesn't really happen anymore, thank God.
And what you'll find on them jobs is, you know, you say the job's a 20 grand job, and you put another £6,000 on because of the logistics. It'll never be enough. It'll never be enough. And that person is expecting 20 grand. They don't want to pay the 6 grand. So the customer generally says no because it's too expensive. And even if you do the job, it's really, really graft work for you to do it. And as a business, you tend to lose out, mate, don't you? And I've always done it for people because I got a soft heart and I don't want to let anybody down. But I think you adapt and you learn, and you've got to, haven't you? Yeah, you've got to. So am I being kind to you on the over the last couple of years?
Definitely. But yeah,
they're not all perfect.
No,
you can't have everything.
No, but
the way you want it or we want it.
No, but there's very rare we walk in and I mean, yeah, like we said, the last few years I've walked into a job and I said, what is this? I mean, look at all these steps I got to deal with now. Because to be fair, we've pretty much, because the name is built up over the years, we can afford to be picky now, can't we? Within reason, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And don't forget, time flies, but you're the pilot. Can't argue with that, Brad, can you?
No.
So be in control. Are we in control?
Yeah. Well, sometimes.
No, sometimes we are, sometimes we're not, and that's what this process is. I mean, you can't work to all these things all the time, can you?
No.
But that's coming from us. I'm sure that many other businesses, bricklaying businesses, landscaping, plastering, wherever you are, I'm sure that the businesses can relate to this. But from a consumer point of view, maybe you can't, because obviously you're not doing what we do. But this gives consumers who are watching our videos and watching our channel and maybe thinking, what's it like to be builders, what's it like to be landscapers, there's a very, very small insight to it. Is it like your job? Do you work in an office? Is our job compared to your job? Are you overworked? Do you have to manage your workload? So what are we going to do now, Brad?
Finish up, clean up, and go home.
We're going to do some work, aren't we, Brad? And then we're going to go on holiday. So hope you've found something that you can take away from this that's helped you, and hopefully that others can relate to this. If you can relate to it, or you've got any comments to share, leave them in the comments below, and myself and Brad will get together and answer them. Thanks for all the support. over the last couple of years with the channel. Appreciate all of the mates I've built up on there now, and people who subscribed, and people who regularly commented. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've been on the channel before, good luck. Enjoy your holiday when you have one, and we'll enjoy ours and see you when we get back.
Yeah.
Sign out, Brad.
Sign out.
Sign out. Thank you very much. Ta-ra.